Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Obscure Christian History. I am your host, Mark Yerkes, and today we begin a short series on the life and deaths of the apostles Peter and Paul and their connection to this, the eternal city of Rome. So stick around.
Rome. In its mythic founding legend, twin brothers Romulus and Remus were born to a Vestal virgin who had been impregnated by Mars, the god of war. They were abandoned to die, but a she-wolf suckled them until they were found by a married couple who raised the two boys as their own. A statue of the wolf and boys is a symbol of the city to this day, and can be viewed at the Capitoline museums. Rome is shrouded in myth and legend, not only from its pagan past, but throughout antiquity and encompassing church history to the present. In this short series, we will concentrate upon the traditions surrounding Peter and Paul in Rome, including their deaths and burials. In this initial episode, we will visit the Appian Way by which Peter and Paul entered Rome, and the Church of Domine quo Vadis, along with information on how you too can reach these sites. Our first stop is the Appian Way, or Via Appia Antica. This is the road by which Paul first entered Rome, a fact beyond dispute because his route is spelled out point by point in the Bible's Acts of the Apostles, which was written by Paul's frequent traveling companion Luke. Today, it is a park-like setting great for escaping the crowds and noise of the city. Consider bringing a packed lunch with you for having a picnic. And don't forget comfortable shoes and plenty of water. To reach the Appian Way, you can hire a taxi to drop you at Porta San Sebastiano, the southern gate through the ancient city wall, and walk from there. But do consider your personal walking limitations, especially on a hot day. Or you can take the metro to the Colosseo station, and then catch the number 118 bus, which continues onto the Via Appia Antica. In either case, you may wish to stop at Porta San Sebastiano, because within the Aurelian walls is a free museum on the subject, the Museo delle Mura, and yes, you heard correctly, it is free. The museum contains artifacts uncovered around the walls, and gives the history of its construction. Take a walk up the stairs of the gate and get a sense of what Roman soldiers might have seen from the watchtowers. Exit the museum, pass through the gate, and you are on the Appian Way. Memorials and ornate sepulchres of the wealthy line the road for many kilometers. Some, but not all, of the visible ruins were present when Peter and Paul entered Rome. And if you go far enough, you will actually be able to walk on the stones of the original road. Yet they are not the main attraction.
I brought him to you. This is where he would have wanted to be buried.
Many tourists come to enter the subterranean Christian catacombs of San Sebastiano, San Callisto, San Domitilla, and others. Price of general admission for all of them seems to be the same at €10. But we have come here with a specific dual purpose. The first related to the Apostle Paul, as already mentioned, and the second related to the Apostle Peter, who also traveled this road. A short distance beyond the Porta San Sebastiano, near where Via Ardiatina splits from the Via Appia Antica, is a small church named in Italian Chiesa del Domine quo Vadis, marking the spot where legend says Peter had an encounter with his risen Lord. You may remember the 1951 movie. The movie includes a scene that reflects the reason for the title.
Look, those treetops there. They do not bend with the wind.
Yes, that is so.
And that sudden brightness coming. Do you see it, Miss Aries? It is the light of the Lord. I have seen it. How should I follow thee now? Quo Vadis, Domine? Whither goest thou, Lord? Yes. He has again spoken to me. Come, Nazarius.
Where are you going?
To Rome.
Jesus is said to have told Peter that he was returning to Rome to suffer again with his people. Peter understood this as the Lord directing him to return, and he did. An interesting fact is that a sacred temple to the Roman protector god Janus was located a short distance from the present church. He was noted as the god of the return. Travelers would stop there as they left Rome because it was the last place where they could look back upon the city. They would make prayers in the sanctuary of the god, so that they might return from their trip safely. Therefore, the idea that Jesus might have encountered Peter nearby to inform him that he should return to Rome and face his own crucifixion is not so far-fetched. But neither is the possibility that the church tradition is based upon the location's pagan past. Before you consider prayers to the god as ridiculous, understand that offerings are still unknowingly given to this god every day in Rome at the famous Trevi Fountain, where thousands of tourists toss a coin over their shoulders into the fountain to guarantee that they will return to Rome someday. One object of interest worth mentioning within the Church of Domine Quo Vadis is the replica of a marble stone that allegedly shows the footprints of Jesus left behind at the Petrine encounter. The original is located in the Relics Chapel of the Basilica of San Sebastiano, further up the road. The stone replica is situated in a way that allows tourists to remove their shoes and place their feet on the imprints. Imagine being able to tell your friends that you have literally stood in the footprints of Jesus. But of course, this depends on whether the footprints are genuine. Not many tourists come to this little church. If you visit, you may find yourself alone. Whatever you might think about the story of Peter's encounter, take a moment to sit in the sanctuary and contemplate the words that gave this church its name. Lord, where are you going? Maybe you will gain a clearer understanding of where Christ wants to lead you. Whether the Quo Vadis story is truth or fiction or a mixture of both, the fact remains that at some point Peter was arrested. Allow me to discuss the differences between myth, legend, and tradition. The differences between these three types of stories lie mainly in how many facts support them, how many people believe them, and how many people act upon them. In general, myths are usually not supported by facts or reality. They make great stories, and might even have a good moral lesson, but few people actually believe them to be true or allow them to influence their lives. Legends may be based upon real people, places, or events, yet be lacking in historical evidence. But a larger number of people tend to believe them because they seem plausible. Traditions are often based upon real people, places, or events. There might be some evidence to support them, but the greatest distinction is that hearers want to believe they are true, and will incorporate traditions into their culture or their personal lives, even creating rituals that are woven into the fabric of religious worship. When we consider the objects and stories related to the Church and the Christian faith, one person might be convinced they are myths or legends, and that may be correct, but be certain that others believe them to be traditions or facts, having deep personal meaning that influences their conduct and spiritual lives. Attacking or demeaning someone for their beliefs seldom bears good fruit. If we doubt the veracity of a story from a biblical perspective, we should not be afraid or ashamed to disagree, but we are obligated to present our views respectfully from a tender, humble heart.
Well, folks, that concludes this first episode following Peter and Paul in Rome. I hope you've enjoyed it. In our next episode, we will go to their imprisonment and execution sites. You don't want to miss that. And if you have not already subscribed, please, we ask that you do so. Click the notification bell so that you will be notified of future videos being released. And click the like button if you would. Until then, may God bless.